in this lesson, we'll finish the setup of our node generator window. So we know that our window is working, but now we need to get these buttons working. So what we'll do is go ahead and make a new tab. We'll make a mail tab, and we'll start with our comment, and this is going to be for our curve info node. Now that we have this, we're now ready to go ahead and make our button work. So let's go ahead and type in proc, okay, for procedure, followed by the command we need to run the same way we've typed it in our window section. So that's going to be curve info, open close parentheses, followed by a curly bracket. Okay, and then we'll go a few lines underneath and put another curly bracket, this time a closed one, so it will run everything in between those. We'll go to the next line, and this we'll basically want our script to give us the functionality to first select our curve, and then once we push the button, it will go ahead and add that curve info node on whatever we have selected, or whatever curve we have selected. So that's what we're typing in right now. So we'll type in string followed by $cell for select. Okay, then the open close brackets, regular brackets, we'll put the equal sign, and we'll now say list selection. So that's going to be our single quote ls space dash sl and single quote, and then a semicolon. Okay, so to run that line, we'll go one other line underneath that. We'll hit tab a few times, and now we need to say for whatever object that we have selected. So that's going to be for, and then followed by an open and close parentheses, and then afterwards we'll want to type in that parentheses, we'll want to type in our variable. That's going to be $object space, so object in, okay, space $cell, okay, or in our selection. Oh, we want to make sure we put in the right symbols too. There we are. Great. Now we're ready to type the command that's actually going to make our curve info node. So that's going to be arclen space dash ch for construction history. We want that on, so we'll go ahead and put in a number 1 afterwards, followed by another semicolon. Now watch what happens if we go ahead and run this line. We'll select it, hit Control Enter. Notice now that it has been activated. So if we now, let's say, go ahead and go to our mail window tab, we'll run the window, minimize our script editor. Now if we were to make a quick curve, we can go to our front view, okay, go to create, CV curve tool. We'll add a few curves, we'll hit enter. Now watch this. With the curve selected, if we go now to our arcling maker, notice it has made our curve info node for us. So this is really cool, really handy tool. But we can go ahead and select that curve and say goodbye. We don't need that. Great. So now once that has been made, let's go ahead and minimize our node generator. I'll bring back the script editor, and we'll go back to our next tab, and this time we'll make sure that our multiply divide node works. So this is going to be a little bit more simple or less complicated than what we have for our curve info. So that's going to be proc followed by mult div. Okay, then we have our open and close parentheses followed by our open curly bracket and our closed curly bracket. Then from here we can hit tab. We can already put a semicolon, so we already have that period mark. We can say in place, and then we want to create a node, so we'll put create node, and that node is going to be called, we're going to want it named, so we'll put a dash n. I like to call it div01, and div01 basically tells me that I am going to be dividing with this node, because we're going to have to switch what the way the node operates. So that just helps as a reminder to say that this node is we're going to want it to divide, and 01 is just telling us how many we have. So div01 followed by the line to actually make the multiply divide node. So that's multiply, capital D for divide. Right? Once we have all of these things in, should now be able to highlight this line and hit Control Enter. go to our mail window, which we've minimized. And now if we were to minimize our script editor, what we should have is as we select our multiply divide, notice it makes our multiply divide node for us. So again, very handy. Well, I'm going to go ahead and undo that. Don't want to make that just yet. Well, with this now done, we've now completed our mail window. So let's go ahead and quickly go back to our script editor. We'll take this line, okay, and we'll basically add it to our shelf. So with once we've hit Control A to select everything in the line, let's go ahead and add that right to our shelf so it's more convenient to select. We could even close the window now. We'll go to our shelf editor. That should take us right to our current shelf. And once there, we'll want to go to our line underneath that we've made, and this is going to be our NGW, node generator window. We can label it, hit enter, close out the window, and there it is. Well, with this done, we're ready to start constructing the controls for our rig. So we'll begin that in the next lesson.